I talked to Bobby Nightingale Jr. for Wednesday's podcast. He still seems to think that if the Twins are going to make a trade, and he thinks they probably will, the most likely candidate is Chris Paddock, the starting pitcher, due to make, I think, $7.5 million in 2025. That to me seems logical from a salary standpoint, but it also seems risky from a starting pitching depth standpoint. And we saw what happened when he was injured last year and Joe Ryan was injured. The Twins seem to think they have a lot of starting pitching depth if they are willing to consider a Paddock trade. Are they correct to be so optimistic about their starting pitching depth?
We do not know what Chris Paddock is as a starter. We saw glimpses late in the 2023 season, and we didn't see much in the 2024 season because he broke down again. If Falvey can find someone to trade for Chris Paddock, I'd be very impressed, because if I'm a team looking from the outside in, I'm like, I'm not going to touch that guy. He's had multiple surgeries and he hasn't stayed on the field much in the last recently. So I think that without Paddock, the Twins have a very solid pitching staff. There are rankings too. There's been some preseason rankings. Projected ERA plus has the Twins tied for the second highest ERA plus in the major leagues this year.
Second best,
take it for what it's worth. I think they
best.
also have been ranked in the top 10 of starting rotations.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. In terms of projected WAR, I believe they're in the top 10.
Okay.
So there's a couple rankings out there that reflects favorably of what the Twins have. I was encouraged by David Festa. I was encouraged not as much by Festa, but a little bit by Zebby Matthews. They were brought into a very difficult situation, trying to pitch a team that's in the playoff race and all of a sudden not knowing how to score any runs. Especially young guys have not built up arm endurance like veterans have. So Rocco had to pull those guys after 4 or 5 innings, but they showed flashes of what they can do. I like their upside. I like what Simeon Woods Richardson has done. Joe Ryan is healthy, and he's going to be on the natural progression in spring training. So now you have Pablo Lopez, Joe Ryan, and Bailey Open.
Yeah.
That is a very solid 3.
I agree with
1, 2,
that.
3 punch. Then you got Simeon 4, which is a good spot for him. Then you've got Festa and Zebby and whoever else competing for the 5th spot. There's a guy who hasn't debuted yet that people think highly of, and the Twins were asked about him frequently before the last deadline, and the right-hander named Andrew Morris, who would be at AAA. So there's going to be a couple other guys. The pitching pipeline looks like it's starting to produce here a little bit, and I like how the rotation sets up. If Stewart, what's Stewart's first name? Brock Stewart can stay on the field. I like how the bullpen looks. Griffin Jax is back, and he's decided to become a reliever. I mean, to stick as a reliever.
Yes.
Cole Sands is on the Griffin Jax development plan.
Okay.
As we saw last year, he had a pretty solid year. He got Louis Varland, who probably will work out of the bullpen as well.
I think so.
I guess I would stretch him out in spring training, though, just for depth. But he could end up in the bullpen. So this pitcher staff looks, and it's not like it can be good. I think it is good. I think it's above average.
Okay.
But that's a big part of the equation for a team here. If this doggone daily offense can stay healthy, they will produce runs. But when you have a solid pitching staff, that's half the battle, because that covers up deficiencies elsewhere.
I'm still concerned. I like the way you laid it out, and talking to Bobby too this week made me less concerned or less pessimistic, I guess. I think I'm just carrying a natural pessimism into this season because of how last year ended, and I feel like we're putting a lot of stock into a small, okay-ish sample size for a lot of these young pitchers, and expecting that now.
Plus, they didn't add a major leaguer yet. They haven't added a major leaguer yet during the offseason.
No, nothing. So like all they've done is subtract, and if you subtract Paddock too, again, I agree. I don't think we know what he is. He's barely given them anything. But he's a, whatever you think of known commodities and things like that, like he is a known commodity. So the thought of them trading away pitching depth, known commodities makes me a little leery of kind of what the plan is. But I'm willing to be proven wrong. It's happened before, just once or twice. It's happened before, though.
Yeah, another pitcher too, because I walked past him at Twins Fest. I said, "Who is this guy?" And then when he walked past me, I turned behind and looked, and it said Topa. I was like, "Oh, that's what Justin Topa looks like," So he's still around as well. So
the fruits of the Jorge Polanco trade. It's a long blooming plant, I guess.
I will say this too. I know this is kind of off the subject that we're on, but ladies and gentlemen, Twins fans, Walker Jenkins is put together. Okay. Oh my God, he is 6'4" and he is strapping. Okay. I am very, very impressed with the man's physique. When I saw him in the visitors clubhouse at Twins Fest, I was like, "Good Lord!" And no, I did not see him come out of a shower. This is when he was in regular street clothes. Wow. Right? So don't come to conclusions here based on what I'm saying. But
I'm not sure if I'm happy you clarified that or not. But but you clarified it. So.
He is put together. And Emmanuel Rodriguez, he is short. I don't even think he's 5'11".
Okay.
So that's a little bit concerning. But Walker Jenkins, it was very impressive. And if you go to Parker Hageman on X/Twitter, he did a side-by-side video comparison of Walker Jenkins and Joe Mauer. Their swings are very much alike.
Ooh,
wow. Jenkins looks like a little bit more of a stronger follow-through. So I'm not saying he's going to hit the left center for his entire career, but the swing looked very familiar.
Okay. Well, you're filling the space with optimism, Lavelle. But it's a good time of year for optimism. I would love if they made a major league signing, as it would a lot of people. But there is still time for that. We always tell ourselves be patient, and then every year I lose patience. So I understand that there's that. Awesome, good stuff as usual, Lavelle. Be well, and we'll do this again next week.
Yes, we will. Take care.